forgot to hit record. It's a good thing it was a review. All right. Well, I thought it was a good review. Oh, well.
It was a good review.
All right, you guys are going to have to... Did you push record? No. Okay. Well, here's the start of the lesson, so we should be good. If you missed the significant figure rules, watch the previous video, right? Okay. So, how to round calculations. All right, so when we add and subtract, here's the rule. We round the answer, or the calculated answer, to match the measurement with the least number of decimal places, or with the lowest Why do I talk about measurements? This is science. That's what we deal with, right? So when we add measurements together, how do we know where to round? Because we always round calculations, right? So let's do an example. If we have 3 plus 4.9, or 4.09 rather, minus 2.6. So everybody calculate this and tell me what your calculator spits out without rounding. What do you get? 4.49, thank you. So we got 4.49, and we know we have to round this. A question, answer?
No, I do want to answer it.
Oh.
I don't have a question.
Okay, we're good? All right. So here's what we do. Round the answer to match the measurement. Here we have 3 different measurements. Match the measurement with the lowest number of decimal places. How many decimal places does this 3 have? 0 decimal places. What about this one here? 2 decimal places. What about this one here? 1. So our answer should have how many decimal places?
0.
0. The lowest number of decimal places. So what do we round this to? 4. Almost 5, but not quite. Right? If this was 4.5 or anything higher, then it would round up. You guys know that?
Yeah.
Okay? So we look at 1 decimal place, or 0 decimal places, and we look at the next one. The next one tells us how we round. If it's 5 or greater, we round up. If it's lower than 5, we round down, or keep it whatever this is. So our answer is 4. Does that make sense to everybody? Any questions on that rule? All right. Let's move on to the next rule, and the last rule. So when we multiply and divide, the rule is we round the answer to match, round the answer to match the measurement with the lowest number of significant figures. So add and subtract deals with decimal places. And you're going to have to do this and do this, do this, study this, study this, study this, so you don't get them flip-flopped, right? Get it down.
The answer, right?
So round the, yeah, sorry, I spelled that incorrectly. Round the answer to match the measurement with the lowest number of significant figures. Am I writing large enough? No? Yeah? Okay, I'll try to write a little bit bigger maybe. Ready for an example?
So is this same, the lowest?
Yeah, it's always the lowest. Well, you can't be more precise than your least precise measurement. You got to go at the weakest link, right? You can't be better than your weakest anything, okay? So let's do 3.26 multiply 2.978, divided by 4.1. Do you guys remember order of operation?
That's what I want to ask.
Does it matter the order we multiply or divide?
Yes,
Don't monkeys swing backwards?
Monkeys might swing backwards, but I don't care about that. I'm just teasing. So, does it matter if you multiply first or divide first?
yeah.
I always thought you did when I was learning this PEMDAS, whatever it is, right? Please excuse my dear answer. But it doesn't.
No?
When you multiply and divide, they're the same. Add and subtract, they're the same. Whatever one comes first. And that's not the rule. That's just like preference. You read from left to right, so just do it that way. Okay? But you do multiply and divide before you do add and subtract. Right? Do you get that? So that matters. But multiply and divide, if that's all you're doing, we're going to do a lot of that this year. It doesn't matter the order you do it in. So I can do 3.26 divided by 4.1 and then multiply 2.978 if I wanted to. If you don't believe me, try it. Okay?
I'm gonna kill my 8th grade math teacher.
Well, sometimes when we're younger, it seems like we have teachers that try to get us to just remember stuff. And that might work when we're little, but if we just learn why we do what we do, it's with us forever. We forget it, we can figure it out. So that's how I like to teach. So I hope that's good for you guys. If you want me to teach you to memorize something, you just say it. You just say something, and I'll see if I can pull something out. I might not. We'll see. Okay? All right, what does the calculator give us? Without rounding? What?
It's 2.3678.
367. Whoa. It's too, slow down. No, go ahead. 23678
731
731.
70731.
Well, you got a lot of digits in there.
70.
We'll just stick with that. All right. So, how many sig figs does this one have? 3 sig figs. What about this one here? 4. What about this one here? 2. So what should our answer have? 2. Significant, because they're both non-zeros, right? If this one was a 0, we'd have to count 2 over, right? So do we round up or round down? We round up because this is 5 or greater, right? So it's 2.4. You with me? Any questions on how to round calculations? appropriately. So on the test, on the quizzes, that's what you're going to be tested on for this section. You have to round it appropriately. So you have to know how to count how many sig figs there are, how many decimal places there are, and know when to use which.
So
Question.
why we run to 4? Because that's 6. But
Yeah.
we didn't do it with the 49.
That's right.
9, it's
Because we wanted how many decimal places? We wanted 0 decimal places, right? So we look at the next digit. We know we want 4 because that's 0 decimal places. So we look at the next one to tell us how to round that. And the next one is lower than 4. So we're not interested in this 9. That's too far down the line. We don't even know how true that is, right? Same thing here. Why didn't we deal with this 7 over here? Because it's way down the line. We don't care about that. We only care about the next digit. Does that make sense? Thanks for asking. See, that was a great question.
that makes sense. When you work with money, you always have to run.
That's right. Depending on what you're rounding, if you're dealing with people, you can't have a half, right? You have to have a whole.
Makes sense.
Unless you're a serial killer. Okay. All right. Are we good?
Pretty good.
Let's do one more that might be on the midterm.
Oh, okay.
It might be.
Midterm question.
And it's not necessarily going to be exactly this question, but if you can do this, you can do the one on the midterm. How's that? All right, so let's say we have 3.26 minus 1.9, and we multiply 2.97 plus 3 in parentheses, and we divide it by 2.2. Do we have to worry about order of operation this time?
Oh, wait, yeah, you do.
We do.
The minus.
Because there's multiplies, divides, adds, and subtracts. We got to do multiply and divide first, but before that we do what?
Brackets.
Yeah, parentheses, right? Brackets. Yep. What? Yeah. So here's a good rule that you guys should go by. You ready to write this down? Don't round until the end. Until we get our answer. Because if we round this one over here, and round this one over here, and then multiply and round it again, our answer is going to be less accurate. Do you get that? We're cutting it off, cutting it off, cutting it off, and by the time we get done, it's like, oh, that's not even close, or not as close as it could be. You with me? All right, so what does order of operation tell us to do? Parentheses first, right? So we're going to do both of those. I'm not going to round it all. I'm going to do just like you did over here. I'm going to write the whole thing. Okay? 3.26 minus 1.9, what do I get?
136.
1 point what?
1.36.
Without rounding?
Yes.
With, yes.
Okay.
plain.
Without rounding. Now, if we rounded, I'll write it in purple. If we rounded, what would we round it to?
1.4.
1.4. This has 2 decimal places, 1 decimal place, so our answer should have 1 decimal place. It should be 1.4, but I'll just kind of put that in the cloud. I'm not going to use it. You guys understand what I said? Just keep it in your mind. And what about 2.97 plus 3? Well, that one's easy to do in our head, maybe.
5.97.
5.97 without rounding. With rounding, so what are we going to store in the cloud? 6. Not, is it 6 or 6.0?
6.0.
How many decimal places does this have?
Oh, no. One has
That's 2
0.
decimal places. This is 0 decimal places, so we should have 0.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad. Keep talking. This is how we get out our misconceptions. Good.
Oh, we can get more.
So it should be 6, not 6.0.
Okay, 6.
Are you with me?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Now we have multiply and divide left, right? So let's see. Which one should I count number of sig figs? This one or this one?
The bottom.
The one in the cloud. That's why I wrote that one there. Sorry. Let me restate that question. When I'm counting sig figs so that I can know how many sig figs my answer should have, which one should I use? Did that help? Was that not any better?
I guess where the confusion comes is they say don't round till the end.
Yeah, we're not going to round till the end. But if we add these, it should only have 1 decimal place. So this measurement together has 2 significant figures. This one together has 1 significant figure. And this one down here has 2 significant figures. So our end answer should have how many significant figures? Just 1. But now I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to use that anymore. Because I'm not going to round until the end. You with me? So I'm going to do 1.36 multiply 5.97 divide 2.2. And what does my calculator give me? Without rounding. 3.69? No other digits? 0.5 something? Okay, that'll be enough. So we should have how many sig figs? Just 1. So what are we going to round this to? 4. That was a little bit more complex, right? But if you just follow order of operation, so maybe that's the thing that's kicking us. Order of operation. Do we need to go over that? Now, for the most part of this class, we use multiply and divide. And the order of operation doesn't matter. There'll be a little bits here or there, but we still got to know that, okay? Questions on how to round calculations. And I promise I won't do anything harder than that. That was way too hard anyway, right?
No, but if you say the question is jelly beans and you put marshmallows, you can become.
It might be marshmallows. But just remember when you're counting something has infinitely many sig figs, right?
Yeah.
So don't memorize the problem. Learn the concept. Get the concept down and you can do all the problems, right?
So if it's an exact or a counting number, then it doesn't matter what the question is, the answer is the infinite sig
That's
figures.
right. Mm-hmm. All right, we good? All right, do we have any questions on the worksheet we picked up last time? And if anybody didn't get one of those and wants one, I have some extras up here. And again, these are for practice, guys. If you feel like you're good, you don't. I'm not going to collect this and I'm not going to grade this, so And the answers I posted on the modules. Okay? Any questions before we move on to today's topic? Well, this was part of today's topic because we missed it last time, but
I have a question that I don't remember.
okay.
When you say homework is due before the test,
Yeah.
and we have,
So here's the logics of it. Okay? If we take a test and do our test and then go do our homework, it doesn't do us any good, right? Because that test is worth more than the homework, right? So that's all I'm saying. If you get it done after the test, I probably won't know the difference. But
oh, okay.
But it won't help you do well on that test. So try to stay up on it.
Yeah.
So basically pretend like it's due by the end of the week or something, just a
Yeah.
few of them.
Yeah. Just try to stay on top of things. Stay on top, on guard. Good? All right. Any other questions before we move on?
No class on Thursday.
No class on Thursday. That's right. No class on Thursday. And I better send an email out, shouldn't I? Yes. No class on Thursday. So let's get some stuff done so we don't get behind. All right, let's move on. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today's topic is the most important topic all year long. Make sure you get this down. Study this topic. Practice this topic until it is so easy for you. At first, it looks like it's icky. It looks like it might be Chinese for me. Some of you guys might speak Chinese, I don't know. But it looks like, at first it looks like Chinese. And students say, oh, there's so much math and chemistry. There's not. There's not. Most of chemistry is multiplying by a number that starts with a W. 1, ladies and gentlemen. Sound it out. 1. I'm sorry. Stupid. I'm sorry. So it's multiplying by 1. That's all chemistry is. When we get to the hard stuff, we're just multiplying by 1. But we throw some weird stuff in there that looks like Chinese. Okay? Well, it doesn't really look like Chinese, but it looks hard like Chinese. If you don't know Chinese. Okay. Anybody know Chinese? Oh. So it's not hard for you. So what's hard? English is hard, right? Okay. There you go. It's like English. No, English is probably harder than Chinese. No. All right. We good? All right. This is called dimensional analysis. Already sounds icky, right? So what does that mean? Do you guys know what it means to analyze something? Make sense of it, right? Make sense of something using dimensions. What do I mean when I say dimensions? Units. Units. You guys remember the units we learned last time? Meters, yards. Well, yards is not a SI unit. Seconds, grams, right? So analysis of units. Okay? Okay, let's do something we're all familiar with. Start something, well, I shouldn't say we're all familiar with, because I don't know all your backgrounds. But But let's start with something that we learn here in America since 3rd grade. Okay? And I don't know where your background is, but here we go. Let's say we have 256 inches. Is green hard to read?
A little.
Yep.
No, it's good. I have my glasses today.
Okay, let me change it anyway. Sorry, I forgot. I need to get rid of that silly color. All right. So we have 256 inches, and I want to convert this into feet. Raise your hand if you can do this without my help. You don't have to. I just want to know. I'm going to show you how to do it like a different way anyway. So just tell me, raise your hand if you could do this without my help. Okay, so about half of us are showing me. I don't know. Okay? So how do we do it? Who can tell me?
256 divided by 12.
Divided by 12 or is it multiplied 12? Anybody ever get it mixed up? So teacher, do we times or we divide? I remember when I was in elementary school, that's all we asked. So teacher, do we times or we divide it? Just tell me what to times it. If you time, I'll times it. I don't know why, I just do, right? But I don't want you to do it that way. I'm going to show you a way that you will know without a doubt you're doing it right or you're doing it wrong. How would you like that? And there's no formulas you have to memorize. It's just the units. Here we go. We know 1 inch. No, we don't know 1 inch. We know 12 inches is the same as what? 1 foot. Is everybody okay with that? Or maybe I should use metric. Some of you are probably more familiar with metric, right? We'll stick with this. Okay. Now, let's do a little bit of algebra. We okay with algebra? Okay, yeah. Is it okay to divide both sides by 12 inches? Is that okay mathematically? Why not? If you do it to both sides, it's
not the same thing.
Let's find out. Because the rule of algebra says what you do to one side, you do to the other side, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the rule. So let's see. If we divide both sides by 12 inches, what's 12 inches divided by 12 inches? Be careful. It's not nothing. It's 1. Anything divided by itself, use a calculator every time, guys, it's 1, is equal to 1 foot over 12 inches. Is 1 foot the same as 12 inches, guys? So is 1 foot divided 12 inches? Is that 1? Is that value 1?
Yeah.
It has a value of 1. Okay? Yeah, if you do 1 divided by 12 in your calculator, you're not going to get 1. But 1 foot divided by 12 inches has a value of 1. Are you with me? Okay? And let's do it over here. If we have 12 inches again equals 1 foot, let's this time divide both sides by 1 foot.
Same thing, but inverse.
Are these both the same value? Yeah. So which one do we use? Whatever one gets us the right unit.
So if
What's
they're-
our question? What are we looking for? This is the very most important part of any problem. What is the question? How many feet? We have to know what unit we're looking for. Do you get that? We got to know how many feet. Okay? And we know we have 256 inches. That's also important. we have to know what we're looking for, and we have to know what we know. If we don't know anything, we can't do anything, right? So we always start with what we know or don't know. Yeah, with what we know. It doesn't make any sense to start with what we don't know, okay? We're not going to start with feet because we don't know that. So 256 inches, and we're going to just multiply by 1. When we convert, do we want to change the value? Do we want to change the measurement of this, the length of this? We still want it to be 256 inches, right? So we're going to multiply by 1, and it's still going to be the same length. Well, it's either this one or that one. Which one, the first one or the second one? Why the first one?
Because you want inches on the bottom, so it cancels out.
Yeah, 12 inches, 1 feet, 1 foot. Inches cancels out with inches. Do we understand cross multiply? Not cross multiply. Cross cancel? Are we okay with this? Okay. And I know some of you guys are probably thinking, oh my gosh, he's teaching this like we're third graders, right? Or I know it might be simple to some of you guys. It might not be. Get this down, and the rest of the year won't be as hard. Okay? And let me tell you something. Chemistry builds on itself just as much or more than math does. So the things that we're learning this first unit, we're not going to just forget about it and move on to the next unit. We're going to continue to build. And by the time we take the final, you got to show me all of that stuff. Don't be scared. Just study. Going to take 6 to 9 hours a week. Okay? To get an A. If you don't want an A, you can study less. Okay? All right. And again, some of you might have more knowledge under your belt. Maybe it could take less, right? So it's different for everybody. All right, so this tells us we multiply or divide. Oh yeah, it says, can I put a 1 underneath that? Do I have to? No. This multiply this is what we did in 3rd grade, right? Or 6th grade maybe. Is 256, right? Feet, because I still have feet. And 1 multiply 12 is 12. And then I divide the 2, right? Guys, that's the long way. Let's just, if we see a number on top, we multiply. If we see a number on bottom, we divide. So it's 256, divide 12. Done. Are we good?
It's 21.3.
333. We better round this appropriately. What should we round it to? 21? Or 21.3? Our original measurement has how many? Are we dealing with decimal places or sig figs here? Decimal places or sig figs? Sig figs, because we're multiplying and dividing, right? So this has 3 sig figs. We better have 3 sig figs in our answer. Good? Are we okay with this process? And you might think, why do I got to do it that way? I know how to do it. I learned this in 3rd grade. I know how to do it. Why do I got to do that way? Because it gets harder, ladies and gentlemen. Do you want me to show you how it gets? Or would it scare you away? I'm not going to have you do this yet. But let me show you. We have hydrogen plus oxygen and we get water. And we better put a 2 right there and a 2 right there because we'll talk about it later. Yeah, we got a balanced equation. Okay? So if I have 3 grams of this and I have excess of this, means I have a lot of it. Oops. Okay? I want to know how many grams of water I get. Now, ladies and gentlemen, don't try to understand this yet. We'll get there. But here's my question, and here's what I know. So what do I start with? I start with what I know. 3 grams of H2. And I know, you don't, but I know that there are 2 grams of H2 for every 1 mole of H2. Oh, what is a mole? We'll get there. And I know there's 2 moles, because of that, of H2 to every 2 moles of H2O, because of that. We'll get there. You don't have to know this right now. See how those cancel? That tells me I'm doing it right. I'm going in the right direction. But if I can't see my units canceling, I don't know if I'm doing this right or wrong. And I know for every 1 mole of H2O, I have 18 grams of H2O. Oh, and that cancels out. See how I'm using my units every step of the way? All I did is multiply by the value of 1 3 times. That's all I did. That is chemistry. Did I scare anybody out yet? We're not getting there yet. That's not till Unit 3, guys. But that's how important it is to get this down. And then you multiply and divide, and so here we got 3, divide 2, multiply 2, divide 2, multiply 18. Just do it from left to right. That's how you do it. And you get a number. We don't care about that number. Are we good? You ready to try a simplified one now? All right, let's do a simplified one. We all know seconds, right? Seconds, everybody around the world use seconds, right? So let's say, take your age rounded to the nearest year. So I'm 43, but my birthday's in October, so I'm closer to 44 than 43, right? So I'm going to use 44 years. Always include your units. And I want to convert this to something I'll never, ever do in my life after today. Seconds. I want to know how old I am measured in seconds. Can you guys do that? I don't want you to just get your calculator and do this. I know you probably could. Show your work so that you know what you're doing is correct. So if you don't want to do yours, I'll show you how to do it. 44 years. Now, what do I want years in my answer? No, I want seconds. So where do years go? On the bottom so they can cross cancel. You with me? I want years there. So I know years to what?
12?
12 months.
Yeah.
But months are goofy. Some months are 31 days, some months are 30.
Days.
Let's go to days. Do we know years to days? Ish. 360, almost. 365 days is the same as 1 year. And we'll neglect leap year, right? Okay, we'll just Keep it simple. Now, anything cancel out yet? Years go away. Well, this tells me I'm doing it right as long as 365 days is the same as 1 year. If that's not correct, we're messing up again. You with me? All right. Do I want days in my answer? No, so where do days go?
Hours.
On the bottom so they can cancel. I know days to what? Hours, right? 24 hours is the same as 1 day. Days go away telling me I'm doing it right because I know these values are equal. Do I want hours in my answer? No, so it goes. Is it always going to go on the bottom? Sometimes we have units on the bottom. And if we want to get rid of them, we put them on top. Do you get that, guys? You put them whatever side they need to be canceled. So in this example, they're always going to be on bottom. But you just watch. Okay? Hours to what?
60 minutes.
60 minutes is the same as 1 hour. Do we want minutes in our answer? No. Minutes to what? 60 seconds to 1 minute, right? So here we just multiply everything. Do we have to worry about the ones? No, when we divide 1, nothing happens, right? Can we push divide in our calculator and divide 1? Yeah, we can. If we're not sure, just do it. Okay? So I'm what? Like a billion seconds old? Whew. Anyway, I don't care about the answer, guys. I care about the process. Well, when I say I don't care about the answer, I don't care about this answer. Okay? I do care about the answers when you take a test and stuff, right? All right. Do we get this process? Questions? Anybody want to find the answer to make sure you got it, or what? How are we doing?
Oh, I was finding the answer to my own birthday.
Oh, okay. To find out how old you are in seconds, so you can tell your friends how old you are in seconds, and they'll say, "Yes, so what?" No, I'm just kidding. All right, are we good? Okay, let's move on. Now, in chemistry, we don't have just math problems where you just do the same algorithm over and over and over again, right? And then you say, okay, I can do this. I can do this. Just give them to me all day long. I can do them, right? We have story problems. Who likes story problems? Now go ahead and raise your hand if you like story problems. Now raise your hand high if you like story problems. Oh, no one does. Okay. That's because they're hard, right? It's like, I don't even know where to start. You with me? All right, I'm going to show you where to start. So write these steps down, guys, and get them down in your head. Problem solving strategy. Has anybody heard of this before? Okay. Step 1. What are we looking for? What is the question asking? If you can't find this in your problem, you cannot solve it. I don't care what you have, you cannot solve it if you don't know what you're looking for. What are you looking for with units? Make sure you know what the units are that you're looking for. And if you do this, you don't have to memorize formulas. Woohoo! Step 2. What do you know? What's the rest of it that I'm going to write? With units. Did we do this already? Yes, we did. Right here on the very first problem. What are we looking for in units? We're looking for feet. Oh, what do I know? I know 256 inches. So what's my third step, guys? Start with what you know. Sometimes you're given multiple things. Does it matter? So now you just have to pick one of them. That's it. You just pick one. So step 3, start with what you know. And then step 4, use dimensional analysis. Meaning conversions, guys. That's all it is. Conversions. All right, you ready for your first story problem? Or who needs time to write that down? Make sure you have that down and start practicing using this stuff. Any problem you have, you can use this problem-solving strategy with problems you have at home. Guys, you can. You might not have to deal with units at home, depending on what it is.
How am I supposed to fix my marriage with dimensional analysis?
Oh, you might. Oh, that's the best way to do it. No.
Just say marriage?
Oh no, I was just making a joke.
Okay, divorce.
All right, are we ready? Okay, so example 1. It is 1.25. It is 1.25 miles from home to school. How far is it measured in meters? And let me tell you something right here. Does anybody know how many meters are in a mile? Meters in a kilometer? Kilometers in miles? Do we know that stuff?
2480.
Okay, if you know it, great. Raise your hand if you don't know it. I will always give you the conversion factor from metric to American. Always, always, always. But I will never give you the conversion factor from metric to metric. What do you mean metric to metric? Millimeters to centimeters. You have to get that on your own. We'll do some today. Okay? Oh, I'm going too slow. But I want to make sure you guys get this down. Even if this is all we do today, I think we're good. just because this is so important. Okay, so here's a story problem. It's not a hard story problem, but it's a story problem. Okay, what's our first step? Yeah, what are we looking for? How far in meters? So I just write this. Even though it's right there, I'm going to write m equals question mark. So I know what I'm looking for. I can look back. I can see that's what I'm looking for. What's my next step? What do we know? Oh, I know it's 1.25 miles. So I'm going to write that. Even though it's written right there, I'm going to write it. Why? So I don't have to read it again. Who wants to read all those words again, right? That's the hard part of story problems because there's just so many words, right? Okay, 1.25 miles. You guys probably think I'm nuts, right? Well, I kind of am. It makes it a little bit more enjoyable sometimes. Okay. Now, what's my third step? Start with what we know. 1.25 miles. Do I want miles in my answer? No. So it better go down there to cross cancel. And I know miles to what? How many? Do you think you don't know for sure?
Don't know the exact number.
Yeah. I would only use what you know. If you don't know it, what should you do? Google it, right? No. On the test, I will give you this, okay? So here's the only one that I know. I don't know exactly either. I know about, but I don't know exact. But I do know this one, to feet. 5,280 feet to 1 mile. And if that's the one I give you, I would use it, right? On the first unit test, I might give you something like that. But after the first unit test, we're going to do chemistry. This is not chemistry, right? Okay? All right. Now I have feet in my answer. Is that what I'm looking for? No. It goes on bottom. Do I know how many meters there are how many feet there are in a meter? I don't. But I do know how many inches there are in a foot. So inches goes down here. We don't want inches. I know the centimeters. And ladies and gentlemen, again, I will give you all this stuff, right? I'll give you what you need other than metric to metric conversions. This one right here is a metric conversion. Do I want centimeters in my answer? So where does it go? On the bottom. I can go centimeters to what now? Meters. Do I know the conversion factor from centimeters to meters? What? Oh, does it multiply or does it divide? I don't know.
Centi is 100.
Centi is 1. So centi means 10 to the negative 2 or 1/100th. If you guys have that, you know that prefix chart that I gave you last time? If you have that on your reference sheet, you can just look at it. Question?
No, I just want to, in 1 meter is like 100 centimeters.
What?
In 1 meter is like 100 centimeters, am I right?
That's right.
So it'll be 0.01.
So we could just do this. 100 centimeters is the same as 1 meter, right? We could just do that. If you don't know that one, can we do 1 centi? Centi means 10 to the negative 2 meters from our reference sheet. But what is 10 to the negative 2 mean? 1 over 10 to the positive 2. And what is 10 to the positive 2? 100. Oh. So that's why it worked. Run your name again? What?
Murad.
Murad? That's what Murad says 100 centimeters to 1 meter. These are the same. Whoops. Are we good? I'm feeling confusion right now. Question. Now, did you go home on a blank sheet of paper and write all of the unit prefixes down without looking at your notes? Did anybody spend 3 or 6 to 9 hours last week? Good for you.
Six probably.
Take your notes, get a blank sheet of paper, and rewrite it so that you get that. And that kind of sounds like memorization. There is a little bit of that you need, but make sure you understand why we do what we do as well. But as far as this conversion factors, that is just memorization, guys. That's all that is. Memorize those prefixes. Centi means 10 to the negative 2. So 1 10 to the negative 2 meters is the same as 10 to the negative 2 meters. Do you see that? Or, if you know, that 100 centimeters is the same as 1 meter, just do that. Use what you know. If you're guessing, don't use it. Questions? Notice my units cancel out and I'm left with meters. That tells me I'm done. Except for now I got to multiply and divide, right? Does it matter the order you multiply and divide in? No, it doesn't. 1.25 multiply 5280 multiply 12 multiply 2.54 divide 100. I just go from left to right.
For the last one, you divide.
I only divide because it's on bottom. Yep. But if it says 10 to the negative 2 and 1 down here, then I multiply 10 to the negative 2. Do you know how to type that in your calculator? Do you want me to show you? I have 2 calculators here, depending on what kind you have. I have a Texas Instrument and I have a Casio. There's more than that, I know, but okay. So I'm just going to do 1.25 times 10 to the negative 2nd power. You guys okay with that? Rather than doing all of them. Okay? So type in 1.25 just like normal. And then we're going to push times. In fact, if we're just multiplying by 10 to the negative 2nd, just push the multiply button and then push 10 and then push a button that looks like that. That means raised to the power. And then you're going to have to push the negative button, whatever it is on your calculator, and then 2, and then equals. That's it.
So we don't have to divide it by 1 and then,
You never have to divide by 1.
so to solve this, all we have to do is just do 1.25
No.
times.
You
No.
do it all. I was just showing you how to type this in your calculator.
Oh, okay.
You do it all. So the answer, if you're interested, rounded to the appropriate number of sig figs, is 2010 meters. The answer was 2011.68, but we can only have 3 sig figs, right? We okay?
Actually, so how you get that answer is you multiply 1.25 times 5280 and then multiply the answer you got from that by 12 and then by.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to make it simpler for you. Don't find an answer each time you multiply. Take your calculator and do 1.25. Push the times button. 5280. Don't push equals yet. We're not done. Push the times button. Type 12. Push the times button. Push 2.54. Push the times button. 10 caret -2. And then equals. And you got one answer. Because if you find an answer and then multiply that and find another answer, multiply that, find another answer, you're going to make an error somewhere. A lot easier. So just plug it in and push equals one time. Does everybody get that process?
The answer I got from that was 2011.6.
That's right.
So you would then round it
2011.68. So here is our only measured value. So what about conversion factors? How many sig figs do we have?
4.
In this one right here, we have infinitely many. There's exactly 5,280 feet in 1 mile. There's exactly 12 inches in 1 foot. Those are exact measurements. Infinitely many. Is that the lowest number of sig figs? Never. We don't use conversion factors to help us determine how many sig figs. We only had one measured value, and it has 3 sig figs. So there's our 3 sig figs, and that next digit, which is a 1, not a 6 or an 8, just the 1, tells us we round down. 210 or 2010. No. If you round it to 12, how many sig figs does that have? 4. That's too many. Are we good? Is this making sense to everybody? But you realize you have to practice this to get it, yeah? All right. Let's move on before we run out of time. Let's do a little bit of a harder problem. Oh, was that too hard? Well, that had 1, 2, 3, 4 conversion factors. That was long, but not hard. Do you get the difference? So if I'm going to give you the conversion factors, the only hard one was this one. Right? You have to get those down. All right. Let's do another one. Example 2. Okay, a doctor orders a patient to take 100 milligrams of a specific drug. I'll just say of a drug. Daily. The available formulation, that means when you go to the pharmacy, is 25, I'm going to make it a little bit harder than that, is 17 milligrams per tablet. How many tablets should be given daily? Oh, story problems. Oh. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to do it a way that I know for sure. Now, I'm sure you got it. But when we start dealing with moles and grams and milliliters and liters, a little bit different maybe. Practice doing it the way we're going to end up doing it. Some of you guys want to just, oh, I can do this without showing work. Yeah, I can do this. I'm smart. Please don't. Show all of your work, just like I'm showing you. It's going to help you the very most. Promise. Okay? All right. So what's our first step? What are we looking for? What are we looking for? Tablets per day. Right? That's what I'm looking for. Those are my units. What do I know? Two things. I know the doctor ordered me to have the patient to have 100 milligrams per 1 day. Right? And the pharmacy only sells the stuff 17 milligrams per 1 tablet. You with me? So now I know what I know. I know what I'm looking for. What do I do next? Start with what we know. Oh, I know 2 things. Which one should I use? A good rule of thumb is start with what the doctor prescribed you. But it doesn't matter. And I can show you either way. Who wants to start with this one right there? Who wants to start with this one right there? No one? Let's start with that one right there. Okay. 17 milligrams per 1 tablet. And I know you're thinking of something, but just hang. You're probably seeing a mistake I'm making, but I'm doing it on purpose, so wait. All right. What do I want in my answer? Do I want milligrams in my answer?
No.
No. So where does it go? On the bottom. Do I know milligrams anywhere? I used that one, so I can't use that one again. Oh, I have milligrams right there, don't I? 100 milligrams per 1 day. Do I want days in my answer?
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do I want tablets in my answer?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but you can't
What's-
cross.
What's wrong with that? It's flip-flopped. I could start with that, but always think about what I'm looking for. I'm looking for tablets. So let's flip that. Remember how way up here, this one right here, it's 1 or the flip version of it, right? So just flip it. It's okay to start with it, just flip it first. 1 tablet to 17 milligrams of our drug. 100 milligrams so that it cancels that milligrams. You with me? For 1 day. What are the units that I'm left with? Tablets per day. Is that what I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just 100. Yes, you were right. 100 divided by 17, which is what? What is it? I want to know. I want to know what the calculator gives us, so we round correctly.
5.88.
Okay, so how many sig figs should I have in my answer?
No.
1. The number 100 milligrams only has one significant figure. Oh, so should I give him 6 tablets per day? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with giving him 6 tablets per day? Overdose. So, ladies and gentlemen, significant figures are important, but more important than that is using your thinker. Read the question. Now, ladies and gents, I'm testing you on sig figs. I'm not testing you on dosing people. There might be a dosing problem in there, but round to the appropriate number of sig figs, the science tells you. Okay? But if you're doing this in real life, don't overdose this person every day, right? Yeah.
I do have a question. So there was a similar word problem on the homework, but it was unclear whether or not that was a real situation that actually happened. Was it?
All of this stuff on homework is,
Fictitious.
yeah, well,
Okay.
it's probably comes from real life stuff. I don't know exactly, but yeah. Are we good? Could we have started with the 100 milligrams per day? Would that have been easier? Let's try it. 100 milligrams per day. And we know we have 17 milligrams goes down here to cancel, right? For every 1 tablet. Is it the same thing? Yeah. Does it matter which one you start with? No. But this one right here looks like a conversion factor. That's a conversion factor. This is what the doctor ordered us, right? It doesn't matter where you start, because it doesn't matter the order you multiply and divide in. No, it doesn't. Just make sure you end up with the correct units. In this case, tablets per day. Good? All right, are we going too slow? Going too fast? You was okay to say no when I said going too slow, but you're not okay to say. We were doing okay? All right. Let's do one more. And then after today, we have all the information to take section 1 quiz, 1.0 quiz. Okay? So don't just take it because it says it's due. Go study. Practice all this stuff. Make sure you got it down and then take it. How many chances do you have to take a quiz?
2.
I believe it's 2. Ladies and gentlemen, here's how I would do it. I would take the quiz like it's a test, in-class test on paper, where the only thing you get is 1 page of notes. As you take that test, or that quiz, I don't know that one. Write it down on your reference page. And do the best you can, because you get 2 chances, right? Do the best you can, and then see what you missed. Find the answers to those, and don't just write the answers down. Make sure you understand that concept and write it on your reference sheet that you get for the midterm and do you get for the final? Good? By the time you're ready for the midterm and final, you got your golden sheet all ready to go. Good? All right. Now, on the quiz and on the unit tests, you get all of your notes. But I'm just telling you, this is the way I would do it. So if you want your notes there to help you, that's okay. Write that stuff down on your reference sheet, right there. Okay? All right, let's do another one. The mass of a piece of gold nugget if you spell right, is 30 grams. It has a volume of 50 milliliters. Let's determine the density just so we can see if this is pure gold, right? Find the density in kilograms per liter. You guys want to do this one by yourself? You gotta eventually do it by yourself. Follow those steps. See if you can do this. We will do this today, I promise. But see if you can do it. Show your work, just like I showed you. Do dimensional analysis. And as a side note, the density of gold is 19.32 kilograms per liter. Let's see if this is gold. Do you have to know a formula to do this? Not if you use dimensional analysis. Can you use a formula? Yes, you can if you know it. Go for it. Use what you know, but never use what you don't know. You got the answer? What? Hold on, did you just get it in your head? Did you write it down? Let's see.
Like, I convert them in grams to kilograms and immediately to liters, and then divide them and give that.
Okay. That's definitely a way to do it. But you didn't show any work.
Like, do I need to, I divide that, and it gives me this.
Yeah.
So that's there.
That's the right answer. You're right.
So,
Well, let me tell you something. If you get in the habit of just doing it all in your head,
yeah,
you're going to make a mistake
I will.
eventually.
I know.
Okay?
I did it many times in math.
Yeah. So, just so, you want an A, right?
Mm.
You want an A, right? Show all of your work. I know it takes time. Show it. Yeah?
I'll try.
Do you need help showing work or?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's.
Like,
No,
I don't know how to start.
okay, yeah. Perfect. So we know we have this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we're looking for kilograms per liter. right? Now, these are the same, right?
Yeah.
You know that.
It's gonna work.
So that goes on top, 30 grams over
50
milliliters goes on the bottom. Because this is mass over volume, right? You see that? Okay? And we know we don't want grams. It goes here. Grams to what? Kilograms, sorry. How many to how many? 1 of those to 1,000 of those. That goes away. That tells us we're doing it right. And that's what you did in your head, right? Yeah. And then milliliters, we don't want milliliters, so it goes up here. 1,000 milliliters is the same as 1 liter.
There we go.
It all works out. And really, it's only 30 divided 50.
Yeah.
Same thing. Do you get that? Okay, are we good? Do we get this? Oh, this, okay. Let's. You got it? What'd you get? Is it gold? Yes or no?
No, it's not gold.
It's not gold. Okay.
0.
0.6. What's wrong with that answer?
Way below what gold is supposed to weigh.
It doesn't have units.
0.6 kilogram to.
There you go. All right. So we got to know this. This is what we're looking for, right? Kilograms per liter equals question mark. That's what I'm looking for. What do I know? I have 30 grams of gold. And the volume is 50 milliliters. Are we good? All right. I'm looking for this. Kilograms goes where? On the numerator or the denominator? Goes on top on the numerator. Do y'all see that? What's the closest thing that we have to kilograms? Grams. Right? We're going to put that on top, in its place. 30 grams. And what's closest to liters that we have? Milliliters. If we divide those, is that going to be the answer? Maybe not, right? So now we just convert. Is this the only way to do it? Did anybody do it a different way? Right? There's another way to do it. And maybe this way is not the best way to do it. Because that's not the way you guys thought, right? Who did it that way? Nobody. So let's do it a different way. That's not the way you thought. That's not the way your mind works. Let's don't do it the way my mind works. Let's do it the way your mind works. Let's start with one of these. Which one should I start with? Grams or milliliters? Grams, because kilograms is on top, right? Let's start with 30 grams. Do I want grams in my answer? No, so it goes on bottom. And I know grams to what? Kilograms. 1 kilogram is the same as 1,000 grams. 1 kilo, 1,000 grams is 1,000 grams. Good? Grams goes away. I do want kilograms in my answer, but I also want liters. What's the closest thing to liters? 50 milliliters. See, it's the same thing no matter what way you do it. Oh, but what goes on top? That's my given information. I'm using that, right? And then milliliters goes up here. Liters goes down there. I know I have a 1,000 milliliters. In fact, maybe we don't know that one. 1 milliliter is the same as 10 to the negative 3 liters? What way do you guys want to do it? If I were you, I would get that one down. That one is used a lot. So rather than using 10 to the negative 3, 1,000 of the smaller guys, the milli, that's small, right, is the same as 1 of the bigger. Are we good? Get that one down. We use that one more than probably all the rest. I'm not saying don't learn the rest. I'm saying we use that one the most. So milliliters goes away. Now we have kilograms per liter. What else cancels? If we don't see it, we don't have to. Let the calculator do it. 30 divide 1,000 divide 50 times 1,000. How we feeling? What part was hard on that? Knowing where to start, knowing what to do. How did I know to do that? What's your question? No questions? Do you understand? So we want to know kilograms per liter. Do you understand what the unit, kilogram is the unit for what?
Weight.
Almost. Mass. They're different. Kilogram is the unit of mass. Gold is also a unit of mass. They go together. What's liter a unit for? Volume. Milliliter is also a unit of volume. Do you have to know those? You do. You have to know the SI units. Now, we didn't talk about liters a lot, but that's the main unit of volume that we use in this class. Liters and milliliters. We never use meters cubed. Okay? You have to know that. Now, could we use the density equation? We could. Did we have to? No, we didn't. Okay, how are we feeling? I didn't, let's see. Let's do some practice real quick. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on this worksheet right here, on section 1, it just says, put the prefix in place. You guys all have one of these picked up from over there? Go grab one. Okay, this first one, part A on section 1, says 3.2 times 10 to the negative 6 meters is equal to 3.2 blank meters. And I don't want you to put times 10 to the negative 6. It says determine the correct prefix that would make each of the following equations true. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen. Don't just go to your reference sheet and look it up. Do this off of memory. That's why I say write that all your prefixes down from memory. Keep doing that until it is a part of your memory. Yeah.
Is it 1 over 10 to the 6th power?
It is not. The prefix, that means 10 to the negative 6, is what?
0,
I know.
0,
Micro.
micro.
Do you understand what I want you to do here?
Yeah.
I don't want you to just fill this out using your reference sheet, guys. The purpose of this part, section 1, is to do it from memory. Get those prefixes down. Okay? So I'm not going to do any more of those unless you have any questions on how to do those. All right. Section 2, it says determine if the measurement is exact or if it has some uncertainty to it. What's the purpose of that? So you can know how many sig figs are in it, right? Do we have any questions on how to do number 2? Should we do one of them? 2 of them? Which one?
We think the jelly beans is uncertain.
It's uncertain or it's exact? It's exact. What else is exact? 34 eggs.
54 cards.
54 cards. Those are the only 3 that are exact.
What about Fahrenheit?
Oh. It depends. If it said 32 degrees Fahrenheit equals 0 degrees Celsius, it would be exact. But is it possible to have the temperature outside be 32 degrees Fahrenheit? Yeah, and that could be a measurement, right? So I would only if it's a conversion factor is it is exact. Are we good on section 2? Section 3 is converting metric to metric. Not always, I guess. It's just basic conversions. Are we good practicing those on our own, or do you want to do some? You talk to me.
Oh, we already did the 265 inches to feet.
But I did 256.
Oh.
Oh. Then there's some good ones on the back. Those are the ones that you need to practice, ladies and gentlemen. The answers are on Canvas. And not just the answers, but the work. Do you have to do this? No, you don't, but you should. We don't have any time left. Sorry, I took 2 minutes extra.
It's all right.
All right. Have a great week. No class next time on Thursday, right?
Yep.
Okay. Do your quiz. Don't just do it, but get ready for it. Practice. Study.
Sorry I was kind of out of it towards the end of it. I need to keep like a thing of emergency fruit snacks because I just don't focus or think well when I'm hungry.
That's how I am.
Thank you. Have a nice
Thank
day.
you. Take care.
For one of the quizzes, it has you download the lockdown browser.
Yeah.
It hasn't been working on me or someone else's computer, so
Bring your Can you bring your computer in?
yeah, I have it with me right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Not
Let's.
either. Doesn't let me go.
Yeah. Are you guys getting that lockdown browser on your computer? You need that. You need that for Unit 1 test. You're not getting it?
I got it online.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm going to miss to June. Wake up. I'm I'm leaving the 13th, but I won't miss that school the following week.
Okay.
2 classes.
All right. I will post the videos